Hello everyone, Rovio published its Q4 results today and we're going to go through the results and some other interesting topics with Rovio's CEO, Alexandre Pelletier-Normand. Hi Alex.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. Could you tell us first like the highlights of the Q4 of Rovio?
Yeah, it was very nice to do the earnings call today. It was good results for us. If you look at the game revenues, 18.8% growth. That's very good. Even if you don't count Ruby games, which we're really happy to have in the family, at 12.2%. It was a record quarter for us in terms of games revenue, and also a record year as well. So there are worse ways to start the year. And when I think about the main factor that could explain this, well, of course we have a new game that is just not launched now at the beginning of the year, Angry Birds Journey, and we're scaling it. It's been in soft launch for about a year, and now it's out, so that's really helping. But also, just want to point out that during the last quarter, our top games, Angry Birds 2, Angry Birds Dream Blast, Angry Birds Friends, all performed very well. They all grew, both quarter on quarter and year on year. So that was very nice. We saw opportunities on the market to do profitable user acquisition, and that paid off. And finally, I think there's definitely a fit between our portfolio and our strategy and the current marketing landscape. Having a brand that is so wide appeal and focusing on casual games as well fits perfectly with this idea of doing broad marketing campaigns. So very, very good way to start the year.
Yeah. So you launched this new game, Angry Birds Journey, on January, and actually it was already in soft launch, doing pretty nice revenue. So how has the game performed this far, and how satisfied you are for the performance?
Yeah, we're happy with the results so far. Just, it's important to keep in mind that this is very new. The game has been out for just a bit over 3 weeks now globally. So it's hard. It will take some time for us to know what exactly is the right scale for the game. But what is certain, and what's really exciting for me and for the team as well, is how it's been well received by fans. I think it has those mechanics that kind of quench their thirst for the nostalgia that they felt the first time they played Angry Birds 12 years ago. So that's super nice to see how people react to it. And if we're talking about numbers, we do have a run rate right now that is around 40 million annual, but as said, we're going to need some additional time to see exactly how much it's going to scale. But it's definitely an exciting start.
Yeah, now we're scaling up a new game, so you need to increase the UA, of course. So could you give a little color on that, how you're doing UA for the game?
I think that's a very pertinent question when we launch a new title like this. And bear in mind that last year we didn't launch a game that had this scale. So there are marketing investments that are needed to push the game, and we want to seize this opportunity. So we do expect that, year on year, we're going to make additional, marketing investment. We gave a guidance saying that in Q1 we would invest about 40% of games revenues in user acquisition. If you look at last year, overall, we were at around 28% for the whole year, right? So that's additional investment. And because of the wide appeal of the game, we do want to try to do things slightly differently. We're discussing with celebrities to use their social networks and fan base as well to do campaigns. We're thinking about doing a US nationwide TV campaign as well. So, this is slightly different. So indeed, I do expect that the marketing budgets will be higher this year.
Yeah, so now I think we should expect, when you're scaling up the game and doing all those marketing investments, the game is not like profitable in this growth phase, but after that, when you lower those marketing investments, it's going to be profitable. Is it so?
It's exactly the case, and we're very diligent with UA. We have a very clear governance. So we do investment when we think that they're going to be profitable in a year's time. And so far, we've been very good at keeping track of this. So indeed, in the short term, because we're looking for a return in a 12 years period. So in the short term, the profit are going down. But in the long term, of course, it is profitable to do this. It's an opportunity to seize.
Yeah, let's then talk about Ruby Games Q4. It was like the first full quarter under Rovio's wings for the Ruby, and so how was it? And there's also this interesting new game, Hunter Assassin 2, developing. So how it is going?
Very very happy to have them part of their family. Their first quarter as part of Rovio has been fantastic. They quarter on quarter, they grew 26%. So it's very, very impressive. We've been having great discussions with them when it comes to UA as well. We're exchanging tricks, right? So very happy to have them. But as you say, they are working on a new game, Hunter Assassins 2, that did reach soft launch at the end of last year. But just bear in mind that this is going to be a different game from them. So the first one, Hunter Assassins, for those of you that might not remember, it was the sixth most downloaded game of 2020. It was a huge success, but it was one of those hyper casual games, right? And now with Hunter Assassins 2, they're doing what they call hybrid casual. So the idea is to have much more content, much deeper monetization and engagement in the game. So there's going to take some time to tweak it and find exactly the right balance there, but they're getting there. So it's exciting to see how this is going to unfold.
Yeah. Do you want to pick up any other highlights from the games portfolio in Q4?
Well, we did release in soft launch at the end of the quarter our Muumi game. It's still very early. It's called Muumi Design and Puzzle. It is out in Finland in soft launch for those of you who want to try it, but it's very early, so it's just important to keep in mind. Let's see how this unfolds. This will take several months, but it's good to have the learnings from the market already. And then we have another game that we usually don't talk about games that are not yet in soft launch, but I mentioned that we have a Bad Piggies 2 game in development in Stockholm, which is pretty exciting. It's nice to see how it's being developed. So this one's going to release in soft launch a little bit later. And rest of the portfolio, top secret. We don't talk about it until we have something more concrete.
That's interesting. At last, about your outlook for this year and focus areas. How does the year 2022 look like for Rovio?
Yeah, so we talked about the outlook during the call. We don't give numerical guidance, as you know. The market remains very dynamic. It's changing. So there's many things that can affect the trajectory. But on our side, we do guide towards growth. We do have, we're going to benefit from the full year of having Ruby in our books, and we have a new game for which we're going to build growth as well. Our live portfolio, our top games are doing very well at the moment. I mentioned that Angry Birds 2 currently has something like 115 million run rate, which would need another year of growth for the game. So we do expect to see growth. As we discussed together, there's going to be additional marketing investment, which should impact profitability in the short term. But yeah, I mean that's as far as we go in terms of guidance. And we do mention something about 40% UA investment of 40% of game revenues in UA investment in Q1. In terms of objectives or points of focus for the year, well, it's not really original, right? We just need to execute on our strategy. So I mentioned the importance of casual games for us because we can, cross-reference between our portfolio. It's really our know-how. We're really good at doing that. There's the brands we want. We have a healthy portfolio of Angry Birds games. We have the Moomins, but really brands is something that work well in the current market. Future of gaming, we have our studio in Montreal, continues focusing on those, next generation or very, interesting, very innovative projects. So we're going to continue working on this for sure. And then finally, M&A. We want to continue looking, scouting to do M&As, but as usual, It's not about the number, it's about the quality. We want to find the right targets that will bring synergies, right? Because we can bring each other things and create value for shareholder at the end of the day. So those are going to be our targets or our focus area until the end of the year.
Oh, interesting year ahead. Thank you so much for the interview, Alex, and have a nice weekend.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Have a good weekend.